These kids depend on us. These families depend on us.
Head Start classrooms in our area are set to close as the government shutdown enters week 4. What it means for families and staff.
And what Madison Schools' new budget plan means for the average homeowner's property taxes. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Thanks for staying with us at 5, everyone. The man charged with a triple homicide in the town of New Lisbon will go to trial.
Well, this morning, Virgil Thu pleaded not guilty to 9 charges against him. 3 of those are for first-degree intentional homicide, 1 with a domestic abuse enhancer. 3 more are for hiding a corpse. The other 3 are having a gun as a felon, stealing a car, and resisting or obstructing an officer. Those charges stem from the deaths of 2 children and a woman back on December 30th of last year. Prosecutors say Thu killed 33-year-old Elizabeth Kolba, his girlfriend, along with 2 girls ages 12 and 13. Now, autopsies confirmed all 3 died from gunshot wounds. Thu's trial set to begin next December, nearly 2 years after the incident.
If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic abuse, there are resources. You can call the Domestic Abuse Intervention Services 24-hour helpline at the number on your screen.
Turning now to your first warn forecast, fairly typical late October weather as we head for Halloween. Blaze has a closer look at what the trick-or-treaters can expect.
Yes, and at least for now, it's looking pretty okay, seasonable, maybe a light rain shower. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. No rain out there right now. Instead, plenty of sunshine, 50s for temperatures, 54 in Janesville, 55 Lone Rock, Boscobel, 56 in Prairie du Chien, and 54 in Watoma, 53 in Madison, just to our south in McFarland, it's 55, as well as in Sauk City, Cross Plains, Middleton, Verona, Belleville, Perry, and Mount Horeb. It's a very nice, comfortable afternoon with low humidity and that light wind out of the north. Taking a look at Friday, trick-or-treat forecast will be in the upper 40s to low 50s when we are trick-or-treating. Again, a light mixed shower can't be ruled out, but emphasis on the light, and I would say it's probably going to be after we wrap up trick-or-treating, going overnight into Saturday. Speaking of Friday night, we're expecting temperatures to eventually dip into those mid to upper 30s underneath cloudy conditions. Any rain chances into the start of November? Because we need it. We'll take a look in just a few minutes.
All right, Blaze, thank you. As the government shutdown stretches into week 4 now, child care services in southwestern Wisconsin are at risk.
The Southwestern Wisconsin Community Action Program is closing its 9 preschool Head Start classrooms that serve 5 counties on Monday. Staff tell our Ellie La Liberté it is a lifeline cut short.
Becky Logue sees herself in the families she serves.
I was one of these kids as a kid, and so I want to make that difference. I want to be the person that I needed at that age.
So for the past 5 years, she's been a preschool teacher for Head Start in Boscobel, helping low-income families get access to childcare and food. But when she found out the 19 kids in her classroom won't be returning next week,
It was heavy. It was really heavy. They don't all have good living conditions at home, so who knows what's going to happen.
the grant that supports 145 preschool-aged children in Iowa, Lafayette, Grant, Greene, and Richland counties won't be renewed when scheduled, leaving Southwestern Wisconsin Community Action Program out $3 million.
Without a federal budget passed through the federal government, they're not able to fund that particular grant.
Head Start Director Tani Hardiman says she's also worried about a snowball effect.
Many of those families also qualify for SNAP benefits, which are now also cut. So we really, really worry about children having enough food at home. Are working parents going to be able to continue working?
Logue, along with 33 of her colleagues, will be furloughed when doors close on Monday.
I personally have 6 kids at home. My husband does work, but it's not enough to feed 6 kids and pay the bills. So, I mean, we will be able to get unemployment, but that doesn't feed a family.
But it's not just her own family she's worried about.
One of my classes is only Monday, Wednesday, and so when those kids left Monday, I don't know when I'm going to see him again.
Even if the government shutdown ends soon, staff tell me it could still take weeks to get the assistance they need to be approved. Reporting in Dodgeville, Ellie La Liberté, News 3 Now.
Ellie, thank you. Southwest Cap, one of 134 Head Start programs nationwide and one of 2 in Wisconsin that will be directly affected by the shutdown.
Funding for federal food assistance will also stop come Saturday, November 1st, and that will impact some 700,000 Wisconsinites, including thousands of homes here in Dane County. Democrats in the state legislature are looking to counteract the effects. Democrats say the reintroduced Healthy Meals for Kids legislation would restore funding to every public school for student meals. This legislation's fate is uncertain, however. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos has previously said Wisconsin will not step in to make up for the stoppage in federal funding for food share.
On the federal level, Democrats continue to blame Republicans for the shutdown and the stoppage of SNAP funds. And earlier today, we spoke with U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin of Wisconsin, who says the president could choose to use emergency funds to keep the program running.
He is choosing to shut down the program. He's choosing to leave hungry families and children, to make them bargaining chips in this matter. And that is something that is just unacceptable.
And that's the same argument Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul is making alongside 24 other states in their lawsuit against the Trump administration. We reached out to U.S. Senator Ron Johnson this morning. His office has not gotten back to us.
Well, many people are preparing for that November 1st cutoff by stocking up on some food.
And our Jalen Banks is live at the River Food Pantry. And Jalen, we're hearing yesterday was a busy day, a big day at the pantry.
Eric and Susan, the River Food Pantry on Madison's North Side has been serving the Madison metro community for nearly 20 years. This week, however, has been one of its busiest. I spoke with the director of the River Food Pantry, and they shared with me that Tuesday was the second most busiest day in the entire history of the River Food Pantry, serving nearly 500 families and over 900 meals on Tuesday. Now, they had also shared that they thought that an influx of people would come to the River Food Pantry starting next week once we saw food share and SNAP benefits not renewed on November 1st, but they're already seeing that pinch this week, yesterday, and I've been here for several hours today seeing the line and seeing people come through, and it's been a steady flow even on today. Obviously, this is something that we're going to continue to highlight and cover as this impacts so many people, tens of thousands of people throughout Wisconsin. Tonight at 6, we'll hear from one River Food Pantry client who says her particular circumstance is going to force her to rely on food pantries more now than ever. But I'm going to send it back to you guys in studio. For now, reporting live from the River Food Pantry, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
We will see you at 6, Jalen. Thank you. In more local news, the Madison School Board has approved the fall budget for the district.
Armand Rahman breaks down what's in it and what it means for your property taxes. Armand?
Eric, Susan, district officials tell me the district is in very good financial standing right now. The new budget is roughly $668 million, and the board also voted to raise the total tax levy to almost $480 million. That means the owner of an average Madison home will see an increase of about $684 on their property tax bill, but that number can drop when you factor in the state's school levy tax credit. Back when the public was hearing about the 2024 referendums last spring and summer, the projected levy impact was $994 for an average home.
We're quite a bit under our projected property tax impacts. And so I would say it's as we expected. The actual tax impact this year is projected to be less than what we had talked about when we were talking to the community, in spring and summer of 2024.
And among other priorities, the budget invests in K-5 reading materials, expanding mental health supports, and supporting students of color, and a raise for employees of 4.95%. Now, there are concerns about what a continued shutdown could do to the budget if the federal government doesn't fulfill some of its contributions. Find out more about that later on tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
Thank you, Armand. We'll see you at 6. Up next at 5, the competition for Madison's best food carts is over.
And we'll tell you which mobile restaurant came out on top when we come back.
Plus, our senior Packers writer Jason Wilde asks Coach Matt LaFleur if the Packers will be able to keep their focus as they try not to look past Carolina this weekend.
And later we'll take a look at what Hurricane Melissa left in its wake after making landfall in Jamaica as a Category 5 storm. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
The city of Beloit has a new police chief. Commander Shanella Stewart has served in law enforcement for 19 years in Oak Park, Illinois. She began her career as a police officer and has worked as a patrol officer, juvenile investigator, a detective, a tactical officer, a patrol sergeant, and many other roles. In her most recent position as commander, she supervised patrol investigations and community policing personnel. The city of Beloit says it will share next steps on bringing Stewart on after the Police and Fire Commission approves the selection in early November.
In Madison, the results are in for the city's top-rated food cart. 43 vendors participated this year. Coming in as the top-rated food cart, Circo Cart 2. That's followed by Brazen Hussies, Circo Peruvian Foods, and Caracas Arepas. 26 volunteers were asked to score each food cart based not just on food, but also design, cleanliness, originality, and overall experience.
One of the best things about our food vendors is that they're local and they're sharing their stories of their culture and their community, and it really makes Madison, it really shows what Madison has to offer.
Competition helps determine where in Madison's vending area the carts will go. 36 of the participating vendors completed a review process and are eligible for a spot. The highest scoring carts get priority for where they'd like to end up. You can find a link to the full list of food cart rankings at this story linked at channel3000.com.
Well, the Packers are trying to keep their focus laser sharp.
That's because last week was the big Aaron Rodgers game, all the emotion there. They got this Carolina game sandwiched between that and next week's Monday night game against the defending world champion Philadelphia. Our Packer senior writer Jason Wilde talks about that challenge from Lambeau Field.
Human nature being what it is, it seemed reasonable to wonder if Matt LaFleur and the Packers are spending this week with a little extra time and a little extra focus on their preparation and their planning. Not because the Carolina Panthers, who will come in here Sunday to Lambeau Field for a matchup with the Packers, are world beaters. They're 4-4 and have been very inconsistent through the first 8 games, but rather because of the emotion involved with facing the Pittsburgh Steelers and that quarterback who used to work here, Aaron Rodgers. Could there be a letdown? Could this be a trap game? Matt LaFleur says he doesn't have time for such thoughts.
I'm not worried about it. We've got enough to worry about just within ourselves and a lot of growth in front of us if we want to play our best football. We should only be worried about today and this game. Nothing else outside of that.
We'll find out on Sunday if the Packers are indeed sufficiently focused and ready to win and improve their record to 6-1-1. We'll have full coverage leading into the game and of the game itself on our website, channel3000.com, where our Packers coverage is always free. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for our newsletter, which delivers that Packers coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Thank you, Jason.
And it's rivalry week on the ice for both the Badger men and women's hockey teams this Friday. You can catch the defending national champion Wisconsin women's team playing Minnesota, the Gophers, on our sister channel. In Television Wisconsin, the top-ranked Badgers enter the game undefeated, 10-0. Third-ranked Minnesota, by the way, not too shabby either, coming in at 9-1. The Badgers seeking their 11th straight win, though, in this border battle. Puck drop scheduled for 6 p.m. at LaBahn Arena. That's channel 3.2.
Well, now let's get a look at the weather. The trick-or-treaters are getting ready for their big night, Blaze, and
Yes.
everybody's wondering what the forecast is going to be.
And it's going to be on the cloudier side, upper 40s to low 50s, maybe a light rain shower. We'll time it out here in just a moment. And then we go into November. After a cooler Saturday, still cloudy, we'll be back into those low to mid 50s on Sunday with a little bit more sunshine, and then the mid 50s return for the start of next week. Tomorrow, low to mid 50s, cloudier further to the west, more sunshine further to the east as our next low pressure system moves on in out of the Dakotas. But it is going to be on the weaker side, and eventually it will fall apart, but not before bringing in that cloud cover as it spins out of North Dakota and northern Minnesota into more of our neck of the woods. As it moves its way southwards, it will have those northerly winds pull some moisture off of Superior. That could mean a light rain shower mixing in with a few snowflakes, depending on how cold we are as those showers are moving on in to end Friday, Halloween, going into the start of Saturday. Before our next high pressure system moves in, we're still dealing with that cloud cover. Again, a light mixed shower or two can't be ruled out on Saturday either. But let's time out Halloween. Obviously, we got to make sure the kids are dressed accordingly. Expect light northerly winds and again, those mostly cloudy conditions. A shower or two, as I mentioned, can't be ruled out. We're stopping at about 8 o'clock. I would say the chance for rain is really going to pick up from about 7 through 8 and then continue overnight into the start of Saturday. So if you're still trick-or-treating around 7, 8, 9 o'clock on Friday, you may want to take the umbrella with you. Definitely take the First Warn Weather app with you, but it's not going to be a washout. Certainly not the heaviest rain we've seen on Halloween, and thankfully it's not heavy snow either, but a few snowflakes can't be ruled out as those temperatures cool on down. I wish it was heavier rain in the forecast, not necessarily on Halloween, but overnight into Saturday, because we are really struggling for rain over these last few months. Not only was September drier than normal, but October is likely going to be finishing drier than average as well. We haven't even gotten an inch and a half of rain for the entire month in the Madison area. We usually pick up almost 3 inches of rain. So unless we get a heavy amount of rain either tomorrow or Friday, which is not in the forecast, things are not going to change, unfortunately, for the better. Now, if we extend this out from the start of the year through yesterday's date, we're starting to see more brown on this map, which means we are losing the amount of rain that we would normally have picked up, especially again from September into October. Now, a lot of our coverage area is anywhere between 25 to 50% of our normal rainfall from the start of the year through yesterday's date, and that's just because we just have not seen any rain, or our normal amount of rain last month and then this month as well. Until the ground freezes, we can still add some of that moisture back in and set us up for hopefully a good growing season next spring. But at least in the immediate future, there is no heavy rain in the forecast. But we will maybe squeeze out a shower by next Friday. Until then, we're pretty much staying dry other than those isolated light showers. Halloween and Saturday, temperatures rebounding back into those mid-50s underneath plenty of sunshine to start off next week.
Very nice. All right, Blaze, thank you. Still ahead at 5, what's left of a classroom in Jamaica after Hurricane Melissa exited the island nation and where the storm is now.
And later, how the federal government shutdown is even impacting the Henry Vilas Zoo and the travel plans for a particular polar bear. Stay with us. In national news, the Federal Reserve is lowering its benchmark interest rate by a 1/4 point, bringing the rate to its lowest mark now in 3 years. This is the first time since the Fed's rate-setting committee was established back in the 1930s that officials have set monetary policy while lacking an entire month of crucial government employment data due to the federal government shutdown. Now, the Fed has said that it cannot guarantee another rate cut in the future. And that news had Wall Street waffling around its records. The Dow finishing the day falling 74. The Nasdaq rises 131 points. S&P 500 mostly flat, virtually unchanged, down just 0.3 of a point.
Well, the United States is sending rescue and response teams to the Caribbean following Hurricane Melissa. At least 25 people are dead in Haiti, and officials say most of Jamaica is without power.
And Jason Allen is in Santa Cruz, Jamaica with the very latest.
Video from above the fishing village of Alligator Pond shows massive destruction. And on the ground,
roof has gone, clothes has wet up. I need some help. Please, I need some help.
Power lines are down across Jamaica, roads covered in mud and water, and homes damaged or destroyed. Tourists captured the damage throughout the island's hotels and resorts. Melissa came ashore as a Category 5 hurricane Tuesday, with wind gusts topping 200 miles an hour. The storm damaged several buildings at St. Elizabeth Technical High School. Students and teachers at this high school sheltered in a concrete building. This is their classroom. The roof ripped off and the walls are now piled onto all of the desks and chairs where they would have been sitting on a normal day.
So it's important that we get back to some level of normalcy.
Principal Keith Wellington told us he wants to find a way to keep the school's senior class together.
It's not even just about school and getting to do their exams, but the period of socialization, what they go through when they're at school with their friends. It helps them mentally.
Jamaican authorities say 25,000 people here are in shelters, and they are working on a long-term housing plan.
No one must be turned back from the shelters. No one.
There are similar scenes in Cuba, where 700,000 are in shelters after Melissa made landfall as a Category 3 hurricane. The storm, seen here from the International Space Station, is moving over the Bahamas and will reach Bermuda on Thursday. Jason Allen, CBS News, Santa Cruz, Jamaica.
And stay with us. Blaze continues to track dry conditions across our area. A final check of the forecast when we come back.
It is some of the hardest hit areas of Jamaica to see the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, the strongest storm ever to make landfall on the island. That's ahead on the CBS Evening News.
Coming up tonight at 6, we'll hear from the director of the River Food Pantry about how they are dealing with this tremendous demand for food as SNAP funding is set to stop on Saturday. Again, that's tonight at 6.
Finally at 5, Henry Violet Zoo's newest polar bear is getting acclimated to his new home.
Yeah, this is Siku. The zoo says he is thriving in his new environment. The 15-year-old, more than 1,200-pound bear came up from the Lincoln Park Zoo in Chicago, and he has met female polar bear Barrett. We understand they're getting along fine. But zoo officials say breeding is more likely with 2 female bears around, and the zoo is waiting for Nora. That means Siku is waiting for Nora as well from the zoo out in Portland, Oregon. But there is a problem delaying her arrival.
There's some permitting that we have to be able to move bears across state borders. And unfortunately, we do have to wait for the government to open back up for that.
Siku's quite the ladies' man. He's waiting for them to get through this government shutdown. He's watching the news as well. The zoo is open, by the way, 9:30 to 5 every day of the week.
It's a little mild for the polar bears.
I was going to say, maybe a few degrees cooler might feel more at home for Siku, but I don't think folks at home are complaining quite yet. Maybe we don't want winter to arrive this early. At least I don't. So we are looking at some fog tomorrow morning. There's a look at future track visibility, probably through the morning commute, especially further to the east. You're going to be likely underneath more of that dense fog than, say, folks further to the west. That fog will burn off, leaving us with partly sunny conditions, turning mostly cloudy throughout the day on Thursday. Ahead of a cloudy, almost near perfect kind of quintessential Halloween, looking at a spooky night in the upper 40s to low 50s. Come trick-or-treating, maybe a light rain shower, but I think most of us will stay dry.
All right. The CBS Evening News coming your way next. We're back in 30 for News 3 Now at 6.
You can always find us streaming 24/7.